Iya. Hehe. Tes. Apa di sini aja ya, Mas?
Electricity is not so difficult.
I thought because
Your sewerage has
Loh, lambatnya.
Tes. Apa di sini aja ya, Mas?
Terima kasih.
yeah, this
electricity is not so difficult.
I thought because
Your
Lambatnya.
Halo. Tadi kekencengan. Tadi deket banget ngomong. Pakai laptop siapa? Ada sama buat ini. Laptop bebek ada.
Apa tuh? Apa sih?
Oh, nggak tahu. Saya juga. Kuliahnya aja belum beres.
Kok di sweet? Makasih nggak? Mama aja. Kenapa cuit ya? Kenapa cuit ya? Nih komputernya bukan nih masalah, J. Nggak tahu apa?
Di mute.
Hah? Coba nggak pakai.
ada 50 lagi, 50 share.
Iya.
50 lagi.
Iya, jadi kita nggak bisa denger ngomong apa aja.
Oh.
Tapi yang di sana ya denger, ini komputer gua aja yang di mute kalau kayak gitu.
Iya boleh.
Tapi tetap denger cuit-cuit nggak? Ini kalau kayak gini.
Udahlah, antar aja.
Oh, di sini lebih baik nih kayaknya. Nggak.
Nggak usah, antar aja. Kita kasih main aja.
Katanya minta tolong di screenshot supaya tadi manual lebih bagus. Masih nunggu.
Coba tolong di screenshot sekarang.
Polos banget, kagak usah dia dari.
Kalau gini,
Bang Ari.
Boleh silakan, nanti sekalian pembicara lah, pembicara ketiga. Kan moderatornya J. Lu kan J.
iya. Enggak, bukan.
Dia siapa?
Mas Ari.
Kok aja orang Jakarta lah. Biar lebih ngerti. Mas pertanyaan apa? Aku mah.
Dan pertama nggak masuk pertanyaan.
Enggak usah. Pertanyaan untuk mereka.
Iya.
Ayo, J.
Udah nih.
Lu ya. Lu janji mau.
Belum.
Berpegang lagi.
Mesti tambahinnya tambah. Ngambil program. Itu departemen apa? Biologi. Ngurusin banjir.
Okay. Okay. Welcome everyone. As you now are enjoying eating really delicious meatballs, now we can start while you're enjoying your meatballs, Indonesian meatballs. So today we will have two presentations, and it's about water management and Jakarta law, and it will be presented by Wana Astri as the first presenter, and then the second one will be Kusma. And I'm, as the moderator, will be moderating the discussion and leading the discussion. So now I suggest Wana Astri as the first speaker, and I will first introduce you. So Wana Astri is a master's student in biology in Radboud University Nijmegen, and her specialization is about water environment threat. So now she will be presenting us about Jakarta flood and further details that she can only tell because I don't know what it is. So let's just hear it out. I welcome you, Wana Astri, as the first speaker.
And how can I operate, or
You want me to help you? Yeah, wait.
Well, good evening, everyone. Where should I suppose stand?
I think there is one.
Okay. Now I'm going to talk about flood in Jakarta. I think everyone here almost know about where is Jakarta is, and also maybe some of you have experience with flooding in Jakarta, which is I have some experience in there. But before I start, maybe there is I just want to know, is there anyone here have experience with Jakarta flooding? Sorry, Jakarta flooding. Only me? I know you are also have experience. I know. Yeah. Do you have experience with flooding in Jakarta?
Yes.
Of course. Yeah. Well, flooding. No, I'm not talking about Bandung, but yeah, it's similar. Before I start, I will talk about why I present about these things. My background is water and environment, and now actually I'm doing course that we call integrated water management. And a lot of problems they took as an example it's in from Indonesia. One of the most important problem they say it's like complicated how they call comprehensive problem they say it's about flood in Jakarta. But today I just want to give you like sharing information or sharing my knowledge about why this flooding could be happen in there. This is what I will talk about the flooding in Jakarta. Where is it, and why? What is the landscape of Jakarta, and also what's the important driver? What caused this flood? And I will take some. Well, there is a cases that I will talk more detail in there, which is maybe some of you know it about Ciliwung River. And also Jakarta Bay, there it's a estuarine area. Maybe you people, is there anyone who don't know like estuarine area? It's like in the middle of marine and how you call it in the land. So it's like kind of brackish water. Payau, sorry, I use Indonesia. We call it estuarine area. And I will talk also about the impact, but not in detail, because I think for the impact, Pak Kun will say many things about that. And also, I hope, and stakeholder involved in this problem. First, well, I think all of you know where is Jakarta is. This is the map of the world, and this is Indonesia. Is with the green. Can see the green color, and Jakarta is with the red spot there, which is the area is like around 600 kilometers square, but the population is like dense. I think everyone know about that. Yeah, I don't want to talk much about this. You can just like the thing is Jakarta is the crowded city. It's my impression. Yeah.
Nice population, I suppose.
Yeah.
Because in the day, double. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. That's the people who registered in Jakarta,
Yeah.
but not people who work
And
in Jakarta.
that's DKI.
For your information, I come from Saudi Sulawesi, so I also have just kind of new experience in Jakarta. And when I just come there and like, wow, this city is too much people, so many people there. And next. This is Jakarta. How beautiful is it? Like yeah, it's nice city with Monas.
Which year is this?
It's Monas.
1950.
I think so. No, yeah, it's not that crowded. Maybe there's no one there. It's still the good things, the nice picture of Jakarta. And even more in the night, it's also cool. Maybe Jehan is Jakarta girl, metropolitan girl. She will be there during the night. Okay, next.
Right. Next. Sorry.
The other thing is Jakarta also a lot of impression about like traffic jam, and it's like kind of busy people always during the time. there's no space for. You can see here, it's like the traffic jam in whole day. Next. The thing what I want to say, no matter when was you there, it's still like busy time. In the night, in the afternoon, in the morning, it's just like busy. Next. Yeah, this is the Jakarta. And this is what, yeah, we call flood. What happened there? The nice flooding here. People still do what they want to do, like the work still working. Yes, yes. Here. Huh? What years? I'm not sure with the picture, but it's. Yeah, no, because it's like. No, it's 2000. What the last?
No. That's the
11?
worst is 2011 or so.
Yeah, 11 or 10, 11 or 10. I should have the.
No, you don't have it.
After this, I think there is a source there, and I will talk. Why it will be happen?
Because when there is a flood, I was there.
I also worked during 2012 and 13, so yeah.
So it's 2013. We went to embassy, then we stuck in the flood.
We have experience for that, yeah. And why the flooding can be happen there? Actually, Jakarta is kind of swam. Rawa, is it right? Swam. Okay, my English is not that good. And especially in the blue part, it's like how you call it, lowland, dataran rendah.
Lower.
I don't know the right word. Yeah, I will say lowland. What? Sorry. And especially in the blue area. And here, how you can see here, like the year frequency and compare with the frequency of the flooding. Since 2003, the flooding occurred like 2 times per year. Even more like 2005, like 6 times per year. But it's not like, well, depend on which area you are. And since 2008 till now, it's still two times per year. Next. And I'm going to talk what the causes of this flood, which is first is land, because of land subsidence. Sorry, correct me how to spell this. Land subsidence. Subsidence. That's the first thing. I will talk about that in detail later on. And the second one, because of clogged drainage system. And the third is about, people say climate change. Well, I will say intrusion of seawater, but the one, if you don't understand what is the intrusion of seawater, it's people more concerned about climate change. Next. Well, this is the Jakarta in 1972. Is it right? Yeah, can you see that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, 1972. With the red spot, like the red area, is the human population, like human taking area in there. And the green one is vegetation. And then in 1980, next, 1983, is it right? Yeah. 1983, the population increased. You can see in the red.
3 times.
Yes. Yeah.
In 10 years.
Yes. And then I'm not sure which, next. 1993.
I cannot even see it.
Check in the laptop.
Yeah, it's too small for me.
Oh,
It
sorry.
is 1993.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
1993. Almost. Cover all of the area of Jakarta. And then in 2002.
Yeah.
2002. Even more. Not full. Almost. Almost full. Next. And this is how's the why so many people like increasing of human population. What they are doing in Jakarta? Well, all of you already know Jakarta. What is Jakarta? It's a spot of working. Many people go there for get jobs, And now there are a lot of how we call apartment, real estate. So yeah, developed in there, and then yeah, still real estate. Even they know it's not good for like, I will say in my area, we say ecologist thing is not good for environment, but they cannot stop this development. Next. And then what happens is there are a lot of people in there. So first people need to get water for drinking, for housing, do activity, for your cleaning things. At least they always have water. And what happened in this Jakarta area? Not yet. No, not yet. And then because of the need of drink, especially drinking water, the area is already lowland. Dataran rendah. Sorry, I will say some Indonesian words. They take up the water from the ground, and this land, the soil will decrease during the time. That we call land subsidence. Land subsidence. And also due to the lot of construction infrastructure above the soil. So the soil itself have a loading by itself, by the infrastructure, and also because of the water they taking from the ground from the soil. So that's why there is a decrease in the soil. Next. This is the data about some spots. There, just like maybe some of you recognize this area, Dan Mogot, Cilincing, Kamal Muara, Kalideres. It's like the spot which has a very low area in Jakarta. So you can see here there is a lot of decrease of soil. Like I said, land subsidence increase during the per year, especially in Dan Mogot. So who is here live in Dan Mogot area? Cilincing, I don't know, Jakarta. Jehan?
No. Well, yeah.
And this is also about land subsidence, but in like a lot of it in whole Jakarta. Next, they compare in 2007 till 2008 during this time, and compare with 2009 and 2010. You can see here, the more red, the more decrease the soil. Next. So, what's happened in why is the flooding is too much?
That zero means sea level? Or
Yes, zero is the sea level, sea water level. Sorry. Yeah.
it's below sea level?
Oh, actually,
Or the
sorry.
existing,
The zero is the reference surface, like the
How much?
And how high is it? The reference.
I'm not sure what.
Mean sea level.
Yeah, that's
Mean sea level.
so it already, how far is it below sea level?
Oh, well,
You
it's
back
Yeah.
You mean this one?
20, no, 50 centimeters.
this one?
70 centimeters.
70 is okay, inside
Down.
meters. Oh yeah, 70. It's like bus
should
with
take
20
again.
meters, right?
Oh, it's the carcass. Oh,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's older.
Next. And then actually, Jakarta is not like because of land subsidence. It's true because a lot of people living there and they take up the water from the ground. But also, if we see here, this is the Chile. I will in detail just take the study case of Ciliwung River. Yeah. Oh, there's no point.
No.
So Jakarta is here. This is Jakarta, and there is Kota Bogor. If you can see in Bogor, in the we call upstream. Upstream is Bogor, and this is the Ciliwung River. In the middle, there is the Kota Depok. Depok, who is from Depok here. It's also have people there also play a role to exacerbate the flooding. Be patient for that. So the Ciliwung River, next. In the upstream, if we see here, this is the mountain area. So this is the Bogor area, and then Kota Depok. We already see about how human population increased in Jakarta. Now I want to share about the human population also increased in the upstream, which is this case is Bogor and Kota Depok in the middle part. If you see here, we compare. You can compare 1989 till 2008. The red still human population and vegetation in red. In green.
Build-up area.
Yeah, and you can see there build-up area increased in 334% because of this. See, almost like Depok and some in the middle is Bogor, but I think Bogor also now more than this. Next. So what will happen if rain in that area? This is what the rainfall data in Jakarta. Oh, this is actually Depok and here is Bogor. So here rainfall is more higher than this. This is the Jakarta area, but still it's still high number of rainfall. I don't know if Netherlands.
Average annually is 800 millimeters.
800. Well, this is 300 for Jakarta. The green one. The green one is 120. But
Yeah, but
still,
that's not the average.
this is
annual.
for year. Yes, this is for year. But yeah, this is for 2010. Only for 2000 year. But should be more than Amsterdam. Jakarta is the rainfall more higher in Jakarta compared to Amsterdam. So what happened? Yeah, I think Amsterdam 80, but it's like
That's
per month.
centimeters.
Yeah.
Oh, this is millimeters.
You need to put more zero. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
or it's not per year. I don't know.
Yeah, probably. But I just want to say the rainfall in Jakarta is higher still, but it's not because of the flooding. But it's still we are in the tropic island and rain forest, so we have a lot of rain. Next. So what will happen in the? This is the impression of upstream area, and that's the Jakarta area. Two of that one. This is the Ciliwung River. Oh no, it's still in Jakarta, Kalibata, and that one is housing area in Jakarta. How they manage the urban area in Jakarta. You can see there house is so dense, close by each other. How can they give water flow in there? Next. And in the downstream area that we call estuarine area, a lot of problem also occurred. First is sedimentation. This is like the increase of soil sediment, and because of this, there are a lot of waste product from the housing, and it flow to the river, and in the end, the estuarine will have the impact that which is the sedimentation. And what I mean by habitat loss is like some of this area before is like marine still estuarine area with a lot of water, and it because of sedimentation they put like housing some in there, and of course they change the ecosystem there. Some of the habitat will lost.
So the habitat, it's like sea habitat, like
this area, but before it's like water till here, and in Jakarta, like Jakarta Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people also still live nearby, close to this area, which is they should
not.
Yeah, they should not. They should give water flow there. Next. oh, this is I want to say about rain. Why people in Jakarta there are a lot of issues from environmentalists and also NGO. They say about this flooding because of climate change and seawater level increase. Yes, it's true, but it's not the main problem because next, if we this is the data from Delta Research Institute. This is the data from Delta is Research Institute.
Yeah.
Company, right?
Well, it's also a company.
Oh,
They do
okay,
consulting,
company.
but half company, but they also
But they
do
are
research.
constant, on research. They're really constant on research. Oh, yeah, that's why I heard about that. They have the data. Seawater will increase. Like climate change is not well. They give impact for flooding, but it's not the main important driver because land subsidence is much more than sea level rise. You can see there, sea level is increased like 3 till 10 millimeter per year, but land subsidence it's 6 till 100 millimeter per year. So the soil is decreased a lot, and seawater just increased a little bit. Kind of that. That's the process there. Next, this is what I'm talking about. After the flooding, every single environmental change, like the flooding, is, of course, they will change the environment there. It always have impact for the ecosystem, the ecosystem there, and also for human. Some of the research, like there are some PhD students here also doing research on this because of the it's related with after flooding. There are a lot of pollution in there, and people still like was doing their business there. They still
Doing their daily life.
Yeah, they are doing daily life still in the river Ciliwung. This is the sample of Ciliwung River, and also they're still washing their plate, their
Dishes.
Dishes in there. So after the flooding, some of this area become more polluted, and of course that we know a lot of like mosquito. I'm not in the disease subject. I'm not going to talk about much of this problem, but there is research found that there is impact of human health, which is this after flooding. There are a lot of area flooded by of course water, and it become area for mosquito, which is malaria disease, and also what is it? Dengue. Okay. Thank you. Dengue. Yeah. Okay. And also what the English name of diarrhea. Yeah. It's also impact of this after flooding. I'm not going in detail into that. I think can many why or how it's going there. And if we see the river of Ciliwung, that's why I have course now, and I really want to know how can they solve this area. In the course, I don't want to talk about the course. In this Ciliwung, from Bogor, as we know, Indonesia have their different financial in here, I think. The money come from the government and go to the province, and after province, the money also will separate in regency, kabupaten, and even more, the kabupaten, regency, have to separate with Kota Madya. I don't know the English name of Kota Madya.
Municipal.
Municipal? Okay. Yeah, they have their own financial things also. And in the Ciliwung River, we can see from the upper stream, the government who have involved in there is Kota Bogor and Kabupaten Regency, Bogor Regency and Bogor Municipal. And in the middle, there is a Bogor municipality. And in the downstream, of course, Jakarta, DKI Jakarta. But the thing is, there is a government also who cover like Bogor Regency and Bogor Municipality for the province government. So it's quite Okay. Who's take this problem to solve? Who will solve this problem? I'm not going to talk about that. I just want to share with you. I also doing course to talk about this thing, and I'm not finished yet. Maybe I can say something if I finish it here. So I want to just say there are high conflict in there. When maybe you remember when it, after Ahok become governor of Jakarta, there is a problem between Ahok, Jakarta governor, and Bogor. Mayor. Yeah, mayor. Thank you, Bogor mayor. That they say they against each other. Pak Ahok, Jakarta governor, said that they want to stop car from Bogor goes to their area because the Bogor they don't take responsible of their river, the upper stream. They make a lot of worse problem. And it flow to Jakarta, and they don't want to do anything. Well, they do something, but it's not significant. Pak Ahok says that. And also, in government of Bogor, they also say that build the economical things, like you know, in the Puncak, it's very dense area also, and now they start building like more money, like of that. And they want to make, therefore, they want to restore some of the area, but they have conflict with people there. Well, I'm not talking, I don't want to talk about that, but it's just like there are conflict between this area, so it's a bit complicated. Yeah, next. So this conclusion is first, of course, Jakarta is still now threatened by flood. Even more, they still do work every day. Even there is a 2 times flooding in Jakarta per year. And the main important driver for flood is the land subsidence. But of course, habitat destruction in upper stream Bogor, which is Bogor, and in downstream the estuarine area also have played important role to exacerbate, to increase impact, to increase the flood also. And in the end, this flooding is not gonna be solved by the one government. Like like Jakarta, Pak Ahok, governor of Jakarta, will solve this. It couldn't be like that. It should be like, because it's cross-boundary problem, they should cooperate, collaboration, but I don't know how. Just let's say they should. Yeah, that's what I want to share with you. Thanks for your attention.
Yeah. No. If you have any questions for Wana first, you can ask it right now before we go to the second speaker. Yeah.
I want to ask, why did the increase of population density contribute to the flood? Because is it because of the less open land that the water can be absorbed into the land, or how is it? Is there any underground drainage in the city, or is it already there but it's not regulated? So,
Yeah, the first thing is, if there are a lot of people living in Jakarta, the soil, the typical soil of Jakarta, as far as you also know, Jakarta, more of the area is swamp. It is like, how you call it, alluvial soil. Are you realize this thing? The soil is kind of clay, yes, clay. So if human living there, they build infrastructure there. First, the land for infrastructure will do like this, and clay soil couldn't hold this infrastructure, the high building like the skyscraper all the time. Like they always build without forest vegetation, which is the vegetation can take up the water, and the soil become more compact and
Has nothing to do with the buildings as such, the soil.
Yes.
Because big buildings, they all have foundation piles. So it's not the weight of the buildings.
Yes, but still.
But it's the increase of paved area. Where you first had forest,
Yeah.
you now have roads,
Yes.
paved area.
Yeah.
When water falls in the forest, a lot of it evaporates. That's one. A lot of it can soak into the soil,
Yes.
and only a little bit
Go to the
to the,
to the
to the rivers.
river. Yeah.
If you have a paved area, you have no storage. All water that falls immediately goes to the river. So when first you have a rain shower, then the flow to the river is like that. Yeah, you have the high increases and then decreases. You have paved areas like that. So you have a very high flow in a very short period of time.
Yeah. And there's no area for water
That's why
to take.
you pay a lot of attention to that urbanization, and that's the main driver.
Oh, okay.
That's the main driver.
Yeah, you will explain about that later on.
No. Well, what I have is completely different. But
Oh, okay.
it was Jakarta is the main driver. And the subsidence is due to
Pumping drinking water.
groundwater. Yeah.
Yeah, pumping. Jakarta is have a lot of problem with. They always like pumping drinking water in there.
Because there's no proper water supply.
Yeah, exactly.
Water supply.
Yeah, in like here they have. I just realized here when we taking drinking water from the tap, this tap, not from only this building, but from the municipality have this area for taking water. So you cannot use like how you call pump by yourself. Yes,
Oh.
jet by your private by your own self. Yes, it's always have to be with the municipality.
Yeah, water supply company.
What is
Everybody has water
And you
supply
pay-
from the network.
Yeah, so exactly here people pay for the water here.
And you pay. Yeah, it's metered, so you pay.
Yeah. It doesn't allow it. It's prohibition to take water by yourself like we did in Indonesia, like pumping water by ourselves.
You need a permit.
Yeah, so that's why water in the ground they always like taking, but there's no flow for water to there.
And next question.
So actually, I was going to ask is to explain.
Oh,
So the improvement or the enlargement of the paved area that prevent water from absorption.
Oh.
This is also the cause of flooding in Jakarta. It's not only flood subsidence
Yeah.
or the higher rainfall in the upstream, but
Now, the
also
climate
it's,
change is just a minor.
Yeah.
It's the less.
Yeah, it's a lesser
Yeah.
because you get there's more high intensity rainfall that increases, but it's only a minor factor.
But I think rainfall is more. If you look at the information or data about rainfall since 7th century, then the rainfall tend to be
Increase,
higher,
yes,
all
higher,
time.
but it's not the
And
big problem if you have. Well, it's always like increase, but the thing is, the increasing is not gonna become flood if you have the good
Yeah.
dryness
but also the area of
and also the area, yeah, deforestation there. Yeah.
So also prevent for
Yeah, Jakarta really needs the vegetation there, but the thing is now Jakarta, they always make vegetation, loss of vegetation. They always build something like structure, infrastructure, and no vegetation.
so the
Hardly
rain.
any parks, no green area.
Yeah, exactly.
So the rain stays the same,
Well,
but
it increases
It
slightly.
it's
It
true.
does increase.
It's true increase,
But
but
that is not the main driver.
Yes.
It exacerbates it, makes it worse. But it's not the main.
you always can solve that if you have like good dryness and you have forestation, good vegetation that taking up this water from the rain.
Room for the river.
Room for the river. Yeah, exactly what the Netherlands did here. It's like big project here, what they call room for the river. It's like they give room for water to not for to taking up the water for the to hold this land. It's also nice to talk, but I'm not talking about that project in detail. I also interested.
so next question, Nila?
Well, actually, a question is like, no, call it. Like, so you were talking about the infrastructure that is actually having a problem with the floating.
Not really, not
Exactly,
even half,
like
yes.
one of the things. But I think also the habit of the people. What I see in here, a lot of people throwing away garbage in the river.
Who is
So,
throwing?
That's like make it extra worse in a way because the river is there, but the water doesn't really flow because of the garbage.
Yeah, it's also can be a behavior of people there.
Exactly, that's the problem. I think fixing it could be like taking million years or
And-
I don't even know.
And the thing is, there's if you know,
exactly.
there is some student here, like PhD student. I'm not sure which one, like Pak Adar, Mas Lutfi, Mr. Lutfi. They also try to figure out what happened. They also taking into account behavior of people who live in Jakarta. Why they still like throw waste in everywhere. Yeah, not every people like Jehan, maybe not. I'm not sure.
Thank you.
Some of them,
Good to know.
but they also think about how to change the culture there. Not really culture, the good, the bad behavior. Yes, I don't want to say culture. It's not Indonesian culture. Not all of Indonesia.
What is
Okay.
culture?
Yeah, nice point. Yeah, it's good point. There is a research also concerned about that.
Yeah, because I mean, I witnessed it by myself. Like, I went back home and then I went to Jakarta like a year ago, and then I saw this woman with a big garbage can and just like doing like that, and then I'm like, what is wrong with you? So, and then she was just like, what is wrong with you? It's normal. I do it every day. I mean, no one have a problem.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
You are the wrong. You are way.
exactly,
Yeah.
so I'm the one that is crazy in here in that environment. So yeah.
Let's say if the government Jakarta outlaws the individual pumping water, they outlaw it. Let's say that.
Yeah.
Just a theory,
Yeah.
hypothetically.
Okay.
Or let's say that PDIM managed to pipe to send pipe to every household in Jakarta,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, just in the utopia.
In the utopia. We
Where
hope.
would they get the drinking water then? Where would they get the clean water?
From the West Canal of
Jatiluhur.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So
Kalimantan.
they wouldn't.
There's plenty of water in the mountains. You just need to bring it there.
Yes, that's the idea. But the thing is, when we try to, I also think about that. But in the course, when I said about that, the professor said that there also some problem about how to manage company who has sell drinking water to people, and they have a protest to do that. Yes, it's political issue. They pay government. Well, I'm not sure it's like real, but it's true that they doing research there in Citarum also. But yeah, it's not that easy to make like
are you
good
saying
idea.
private companies
Yes.
like Aqua?
Well, I don't want to say what company.
And what PDIM?
Yeah.
Right.
In Jakarta, there's a concession. They gave out a concession to a company.
Yeah.
French.
Oh.
But they want to get rid of their concession. and
Who
sell it
will?
to,
Yeah, who will be the one?
Jakpo. They're in negotiation with Jakpo to buy their stake. But they're regulating can't raise their rates, and they don't want to invest because that cuts into their profits. This concession business in Jakarta is a big failure.
Okay. If there's no more questions, then we can move on to the second speaker. Thank you. Wana Astri.
Yeah.
You can sit down. And I will invite our second speaker, Mr. Kun Brusma, and I will briefly explain what he focuses on. Well, I can try it briefly. Well, he focuses on the urban water utilities, such as water supply and sanitation. Also on the, he is addressing the challenge we're facing about providing healthy, safe, and sustainable living condition with water. So, and also he's now involved in urban sanitation development program for Indonesia, and in particular, the water quality improvement of Jakarta in relation to the national capital integrated development. And yeah, so that's basically it. And maybe you can tell the more about your project.
Well,
or,
yes.
Yeah.
The brief I got was to say something about the sanitation situation in the Netherlands. I was in Jakarta in 2014, involved in the Urban Sanitation Development Program, which is a national program assisting 4 ministries, Bapenas, Health, Interior, and PU, in improving the implementation of sanitation countrywide. Because the aim is for 2020 to have 100% coverage. Sanitation. 20. It's only 4 more years.
Yeah.
We are now at about 65%.
Oh, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
But that's what you make plans for, and once you reach 2020, you see how far you got.
Yeah.
So I've been involved in that, and because I was there, and we are also, our company, in the NCICD program, which is to protect Jakarta against flooding by building a giant seawall. It's slightly controversial. It's going back and forth. Government is not yet decided on this. So we made a master plan, and now we're trying to move it forward. Because by 2025, 2030, you need to have some kind of protection, outer protection, unless you want to have, you saw the picture of Monas, but then it will be Monas at the sea.
Yeah.
Because of all the problems you just discussed. And one of the major issues, if you want to close off Jakarta Bay, is of course the sanitation. Because all wastewater in Jakarta just flows untreated into the bay. And you also showed this, the pollution of the bay, all the sludge there. I was at there's also land reclamations. And I was on the land reclamation where the contractor dumped too much sand at one point. If you do that, then the seabed goes up. So here you have the sand, and there you have the sludge, and it's like walking over a landfill. You see all the plastic bags. The whole bay is just one big polluted landfill, but it's underwater, so you don't see it.
Okay.
But I was asked to say something about the Netherlands before I talk about Jakarta.
You see the good environment.
Okay, time and place.
Huh?
Time and place are
Time and
yours.
place?
Are yours.
Oh, how do I get next?
Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, it's still that time.
Shit happens. There was a presentation I did for a delegation from DKI some time ago. They visited the Netherlands, and they want to know something about how is sanitation and urban drainage organized in the Netherlands. And I went a bit overboard with the next one. The effects. So sanitation. Why did we start with sanitation? It's a public health thing. We want to improve public health by dealing with human waste. And so sanitation, on one hand, is water supply, which improves. Good water supply improves people's health, and the other one is human waste. So next slide. Often, major budget for sanitation goes to water supply, and only a small part goes to sanitation. However, sanitation helps twice as good to reduce diseases than with water supply. And the next one, just some figures, some quick figures. The numbers are debatable. $4 to $6 of investment in sanitation, you get a return for every dollar invested. So it's a very good investment. Unfortunately, it's not done because, like with water, you have an immediate benefit and you want to pay for that. Sanitation, you throw it away and it's gone. It's not your problem anymore. It's society's problem. And it's not very politically attractive. It's not sexy. And we had that problem in the Netherlands as well in the past, where investments in sanitation were lacking. But I'll get to that in a moment, because in the Netherlands, if you go to the next one, we have a very small number. That's the percentage of people who are affected by bad sanitation. We have 12 recorded health issues due to poor sanitation on 16 million people. This is from a benchmark. Every couple of years, there's a benchmark on sewerage, urban drainage, and sanitation. And one of the questions is, due to failure of sanitation, somehow, how many people got sick? Well, 12. And the Netherlands is connected, 99.7% of households are connected or have sanitation, usually by sewers. If they are far out, farms, they have their own system, but they're all connected. But it comes at a price, and that's about 2.5. That is capital costs, operation and maintenance, personnel, and about half of that goes spent by the municipality on collecting sewage, and half at the water boards, I'll get to that, for treatment. And each household in the Netherlands pays, well, these figures are a couple of years ago, but between almost 200 euros a year to the municipality for their per household. 200 euros per year per household. And just that's half of it. That's the rioleringsheffing. That's the sewerage fee. And then they also pay to the water board for the treatment. So they pay for the collection to the municipality and the treatment to the. So it's, yeah, quite a
Maybe
bill
you can
get.
explain a little bit what is water board is.
I'll come to that.
Okay.
Yes.
It's a little different.
But that sewage fee is about 0.6% of a household income. So that's the tax burden. It's only 0.6%. So percentage-wise, it's not so big. Another figure. So sewage and treatment cost about 40 cents per person per day, if you work it out. But it wasn't always like that. Yeah, beginning of 100 years ago, that's how human waste was collected in buckets, the night soil. They put their bucket out at night and it was collected all through the night. And then dumped somewhere, usually in the river.
Really?
100 years ago, yes. In urban areas, of course, in the rural areas, you have your latrine in the back somewhere and it disappeared there. So that's, if you think about, not that long ago.
100 years?
Yeah, to the 1920s, 1900s.
Still like that?
Yes.
I think before that.
Until the 30s.
Yeah, and I think before, I got this in my lecture actually. before that, people in Amsterdam, like the one that live in front of, they just put it outside. They just put it on the river.
Next
Yeah,
slide.
next
Everything
slide.
is go to the river, drinking.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. So
But this was even in the year 50s, even in the 70s, was like that.
No.
Luckily, we are not
And-
there.
because the canals in these cities were like open sewers. Yeah. But then, yeah, environmental concerns and also health concerns were such that we decided to do something about that, and we cleaned up.
Oh,
So now it looks like that. And so initially it was done by building sewers, but originally the sewers went straight to the river. So we had very bad water quality, and then the treatment plants in the 70s and 80s were built. So now we have well, relatively good water quality. It's still not up to the for the KRW, the Kaderrichtlijn Water, the water framework or the water directive, the European Water Framework Directive. Our water quality is still not
it's still not good.
not good enough.
Yes.
Still not good enough.
But
So
you
there's gonna be-
Netherlands improved a lot.
Yes, we did improve, but still there needs to be a lot of investments to improve again. But how are we organized in that regard? Yeah, well, you talked about water management, and in the Netherlands, the national government is in charge of the main rivers, like the Rhine, the Waal, the Maas, and the sea defense. Then we have water boards, about 24 of them. They're in charge of the minor rivers and all rural water and open channels. And then the municipality is responsible for collecting rainwater inside their built-up area. And for sanitation, the municipality is responsible for collecting the waste. And then the water board is responsible for transporting it to their treatment plant and treating it. Because the water board is also in charge of water quality. So they have to make sure that it's properly cleaned and then discharged. Now in the Netherlands, up till at least the 80s, we had combined sewers. So we did urban drainage and sanitation through the same pipe system. And we had combined sewer overflow. So when there's a lot of rain, then this water will just overflow into the river, which is a mixture of rainwater and wastewater. So next, we have about 400 municipalities, and they each take care of their sewer system, urban drainage system. I have a lot of text here. Right, and planning, because that is how do we get there? How do we get everything organized? Well, we plan and we budget and we make implementation and we actually do something. That's something that's sometimes forgotten in other countries. There's lots of plans, but the doing parts. So every municipality makes its strategic plan, and they discuss this also. Right? You get the stakeholder management. They have to discuss this with the water board and with the province to make sure that they comply with all regulations. And you asked about water boards. We have about 24 water boards. So they take care of the treatment. 24, yes. We have about 348 treatment plants, 2,200 pumping stations, almost 8,000 kilometers of pipes, well, transport only, because that's excluding the city sewerage. That's just transporting it. Yeah, there's about the whole of Indonesia. There are about 12 treatment plants, and most of them are like maturation ponds, just big areas where the water flows very slowly through it and gets automatically treated. There's one of these in Tangerang. Not sure how good it's working, but
Yeah, but it's for the like kind of private area. Through
No,
the
but
municipality.
basically for well, and Bandung has a big one, Bojo Swang. Yeah, but that's like that's 80 hectares of ponds, one after the other. It's very efficient, and also the treatment. Sometimes the quality of the water going in is better than the quality of the water going out. So yes, there are, but very few, because you also need to collect the wastewater. You can build treatment plants, but if you don't collect the wastewater, then because there are also treatment plants in Indonesia which don't get any water. Big white elephants, yes.
Maybe some of the like complex or housing, some housing area,
They have their own.
they have their own.
Yes, they do. Yeah, small. Yeah.
I have experience with this.
And industrial estates, some industrial estates also
it's
have,
some industrial.
yeah, but that's private developers.
Yes.
They have their own, yeah.
They
Yeah,
manage their own.
yeah, but for municipal,
No. I'm not sure, but
yeah, because basically still septic tank is the normal way of doing it in Indonesia. But how do we get this far? Well, by planning. As I said, every municipality has to make a sewer plan where they determine what do we have on sewerage, how does it perform? Are there any houses that are not connected yet? We have to connect them. Is the capacity big enough? Is the pumps big enough? What do we need to do on maintenance? Do we have to clean it? How many meters a year do we clean? All that kind of thing is in such a, and according to the plan, do, check, act standards planning cycle tool. And they do this about every 5 years, and the plan goes to the what you call that, the council, the gemeenteraad. DPR, there you go, DPR. And yeah, it's the local government parliament, and they approve it, and they include a budget. Yeah, but they also include the budget.
Yeah.
And that's important, because if you don't have money, then nothing gets done. And that's an important part of the plan. Now the next, yeah, I'm not sure if we, yeah.
At the very beginning, it starts from a blueprint first, from like let's say government, that government, and then spread out into the municipality, or from the very beginning, it starts from the municipality itself, and then going up to the.
Okay. This plan, the strategic plan, is a law, a national law. So the national government has implemented, every municipality has to do this, because the municipalities were not taking care of their sewer and urban drainage system, because it's more attractive for the city council to build a swimming pool than to build a sewer. Politically, so to make sure that this task is taken care of properly, we made a national law. Every town has to make such a plan, has to make a funding, and the funding has to be complete. I mean, the budget has to be a closed budget. And so what they plan to do, they have to reserve money for that. But they also get the authority to levy a tax. So they can get income to cover the cost. But if you don't have the power to, you can get a responsibility, but if you don't have the power to raise money for that, then you get the responsibility but no money. That's crucial. And also the money they collect can only be spent on this. They cannot, if they have something left over, spend it on the swimming pool. They can, if they have a shortage, take from the general budget and supplement it, but not the other way around.
Future DPR, this is that. Yeah.
Yeah, so going through that plan, I'm not sure that's so interesting because making such a plan, first you have your objectives and then your functional requirements. So that's how you get from a high level to what you actually want to do. Go to the next one. That's not. So this is a general explanation of how to work. Your objective is to be happy. What functional requirements is if you have enough money, you will probably be happy. And then the criteria. So we apply this kind of framework also for sewerage. You go to the next one. The overall objective is public health. And we do that by efficient collection and transport of wastewater. And so everybody needs to have a connection. How do you make sure that efficient collection is taken care of? Every lot, every household has a connection to the sewer system. And how do you check that? You register them, and you register those that don't have it. And then you know which don't have. You make a plan to connect them in next year or the year after. And once you have the measures, you know the cost. And if you go to the cost, next, well, we get to the cost. Yeah. So you also have to check how your sewer system. This is specifically urban drainage. So we build a model of the whole sewer system in a hydraulic calculation program where we can simulate several rainfall events, and then we see if there's any places that we can expect flooding, and we have to take measures for that. So that's the urban drainage side of it. All towns use this kind of modeling software, and we as a company, of course, assist that because these municipalities, they don't make these plans themselves or these calculations, they hire consultants. And so you have a lot of consultants in the Netherlands who do this kind of work for municipalities. Okay. And then we get, this presentation was for DPR people. So I want to get into the finances if you go to the next one, because an important part is the finances. So when we make a financial plan, we look at the exploitation, that's the operation and maintenance, which is personnel and consumables and stuff like that, operation maintenance. The capital cost, so that's interest and depreciation of your capital, and both of the old ones, old assets, and if you build something new, you have to write off, and you have to save, because in 50 years or 60 years, you have to replace it. And you have to include that in your financial plan. And then, once you know how much you have to spend every year, then you can calculate how much you need to collect in taxes. So that's how we calculate the sewer tax, which is, for this example, in 2011 was 200 euros. But because a lot of infrastructure was built in the 70s, so after 50 years, 60 years, you have to replace that. So you have a lot of cost. So you have to start raising the tax now, because you can't wait until you get there and then suddenly raise the tax by 100%. So you have to start slowly build it up. And that's, and that's something that's in Indonesia very much lacking, is the departments that do the operation and maintenance. Yeah, who does that? You tell me. You should know.
They build something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who builds something? But who takes care of that it keeps on running?
That's the main issue.
The management, operation and maintenance. You need people who do that. You need budget for that, and that's often lacking. So it's just nobody maintains it. It falls apart, and then you need PU again to build something new. Yeah, and they'll be glad to build something, because that's their business. So included in the plan, you plan. So for a town of 50,000 people, you need full-time employees. There are guidelines for that, how many people you need to do that. And we have an organization that really helps in this, and that's next. It's called RioNet, and that's something that would also benefit in Indonesia. If you have an organization, a knowledge center, if you will, for the Netherlands, they made a guideline how to make such a strategic plan, and you can follow that. Also, how to calculate these hydraulic calculations. They make guidelines for that, so that everybody does it on in the same way. It's a level playing field. So they are funded by members, and all municipalities basically are a member, and they pay a fee based on the number of people they have. So all the municipalities fund this foundation. And then consultancies are also member, because they benefit also. But the main funding is by the municipalities themselves. So that's a short something about how sewers is organized in the Netherlands.
Okay, thank you. So there are more questions for second speaker. Do you have any? No. So that was really clear.
Yeah, or not at all.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
What is how dealing with the number of population that we know in Indonesia is 100 times.
250 million.
Yes. With
Increasing.
how do you deal with that?
Yes. I have another presentation on that. And the need for speed, I call it, because you have about 60%, 65% coverage. In the cities, it is a bit higher, but the need is also higher than in the rural areas. And if you want to increase to 100% in a couple of years, you need to start building very quickly. And the policy now is very much into Sanimas. It's very popular. You know Sanimas? It's a communal septic tank for 20 households. They have a communal system. Usually that's a septic tank. And what they do is you have a community organizer, and there's someone from the community who takes the lead, and they raise some local funds, and they build their own system, and then they have to manage their own system. Very community oriented. But once this one community leader doesn't feel like it anymore, or he leaves, then the whole system goes. So that's one. And the second is it's only 20 households, and you need to build about 3,300 per year if you want to make any impact. Now, if you work that out to how many per day, that's. So what's the alternative? Yeah, I say, go back to your classic sewer systems. Build your sewers, meters of pipes, and connect the houses. But you have to start now. And it's not really. Nobody's really taking the initiative to actually do that.
So far, do you know any region in Indonesia that can be a good example for taking care of those things? No, not at all.
How come? One is this, well, you already showed this, but the institutional complicated, who is responsible for what? You have this whole decentralization effort where responsibilities are delegated to local government. So one of our programs, USDP, was to help local governments make their make plans for sanitation. But they have not been embedded in any legal sense. So these plans are made for all, and the quality varies, some is good, some is bad. But then the measures they have agreed on, they are not confirmed by DKI. So there's no budget. So we have a nice plan, but nothing gets done.
Means there's no blueprint at all in Indonesia.
Yeah. So no, but the responsibility lies with the local government. If they want to build something, they need to have the AMDO and the land. They have to provide the land, and there's a number of criteria they have to fulfill, and then they can apply for extra budget from the national government. Yeah, if they have big pipes or the treatment plant, that can be financed by EU. But they need to fulfill these criteria, and it's very difficult. Always land. Land is always a problem to get land somewhere. And then when they don't fulfill these criteria, they can't apply for funds. And then when there's no budget, then nothing gets done. And only small projects, because the whole funding cycle in Indonesia is also very complicated. Yeah, you have the local heads, provincial heads, they make a plan, there's a national, and at one point they all come together and then they go, it takes about 2 years to get something budgeted. And then usually it's small projects for budgets for 1 year.
Yeah.
And then the next year, if you want to go multiple years, that's very hard to get a project for multiple years. So, but it's a problem in all sectors that there's lots of master plans. Yeah? For this flooding, we have a beautiful master plan. But, for power supply, electricity, we know for that there's a shortage of electricity. And Jakarta is not so much affected because all electricity goes to Jakarta. But the gap gets bigger and bigger. The demand gets bigger and bigger, and they don't build enough power capacity. And everybody knows what has to be done, but it's not being done. And it's the same with transport. You know what to do, and then Jakarta builds one small few kilometers of metro subway.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to help much.
How possible it is for companies to do the work. I mean, if the municipality cannot do their work good, then the budget can be transferred to the private company. They can do it better.
Yeah. Well.
It's not sexy, right?
Well, if there were enough private companies that could do this kind of work, but first needs someone to make a proper plan and a proper design, and you need good consultants for that, and also that's lacking. For such a proper strategic sewer plan or master plan in Indonesia, there's not even 10 people in the whole of Indonesia who can do that properly. There is some, yes. I met some, and they have plenty. They work private, they have their own company, but it's not enough. You need more, better educated people. But again, the sector is not very popular also for students. So there's also a lack of students who want to, they want to go into the oil business. Even the environmental engineers, they all go to the oil business. Yeah.
I will agree with that. I also think that. Yeah.
So the message is we need to get our DPM to work.
Yeah, they have to get their priorities right.
Yeah.
So they're
out.
And of course, I know what I think the priority is, but their job is to decide what is priority. That's their job, political. And if they decide something else, okay. Who am I to say that's wrong? It's their choice. But as long as it's an informed choice, then it's okay.
Okay. So is there any more questions before we close the discussion? Okay. Once again, thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
So we have a lot of information about Jakarta flood and also water management, how the Netherlands do the how do you say, drainage system?
Drainage and storage. Usually it's combined in the Netherlands.
Yeah. So at least we have gained some knowledge for ourselves first, then we can probably do something in the future. So we hope. And for the last thing that we would like to do, we have small gifts for, you can come here, for both of the speakers from our Students Association chairman, also the certificate. No, you. So first we have the certificate it's given by the chairman of
It's showing my performance and development.
Exactly.
With my
I've done this.
Wait, we have to take a picture.
with flowers.
With flowers.
Yeah, with flowers. Yeah, also with flowers.
Yes.
Yeah.
For you.
Okay. Thank you.
And
Oh, thank you.
yeah.
So let's take pictures together, both of the speakers. Well, you can join if you want to. I have to be asked.
Thank you. I've done nothing.
Salamannya nggak diulang.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I will give back to the chairman of the Indonesian Students Association to continue the event. I don't know what's me.
Yeah. So before we close tonight's event, there's a couple of announcements, I think. Yeah.